right now on 5 on your side at 10.
Thunderstorms nudging closer to us right now when the first round of rain moves in and the weather impact it could have on your Wednesday morning commute.
A bus crisis for St. Louis public schools. What parents and students can expect with reduced routes. Leaving the city for the county.
And this really feels like the state kind of giving up on downtown.
Hundreds of workers could be moving out of downtown St. Louis. Now city leaders are sounding off about the potential mass exodus.
A state decision threatens to deal a major blow to downtown St. Louis's revitalization efforts. Good evening. I'm Mike Bush.
And I'm Kelly Jackson. Just hours ago, Governor Mike Parson and state officials dropped a bombshell. They have plans to sell 2 downtown office buildings, potentially relocating hundreds of workers. 5 on your side's Brent Solomon is live with reaction and next steps.
Quote, this announcement is unwelcomed and unhelpful. That message coming tonight from the group Greater St. Louis, Inc., which works to bring a boost to downtown and unite the St. Louis region. Now, city leaders are saying they're not so sure about this.
Tuesday, city leaders learned these 2 buildings in downtown St. Louis could soon become vacant. The state is pursuing plans to sell the Wainwright office building on North 7th Street and the Mill Creek office building on South Jefferson. Some 600 state workers could soon relocate to Chesterfield.
We need to keep as many people in the city of St. Louis, but also especially downtown.
A spokesman for the governor saying it's to consolidate unused or underutilized state office space and to cut costs. Alderman Rasheen Aldridge is concerned about the timing.
We're already in limbo with the earnings tax, and to be losing more people who won't be paying to that tax, which generates 1/3 of our city's budget, is a little concerning. Those are funds that go to infrastructure. Those are funds that go to streets.
I want to know where the city of St. Louis, where administration was, working with the state of Missouri.
A spokesperson for Mayor Tashara Jones saying Tuesday there was no prior communication from the governor or any member of the board about the sale of these buildings. We are certainly sorry for the state employees who will be displaced and are working to learn more about the impact, if any, this could have on St. Louis City.
This is a huge opportunity to reel them back in and to work with the state, having the state of Missouri, not just the earnings tax, but really their presence in our downtown to understand our challenges, to understand our assets, and really be able to work with us to really breathe life, that necessary life, back into our downtown area.
Now, under this proposal, some of those workers would be relocated to a different building in the city. That's on Choteau Avenue. Meantime, Greater St. Louis, Inc. tells me it will continue to work with the city to revitalize downtown, to make it, quote, safe, vibrant, and beautiful. Live downtown tonight, Brent Solomon, back to you.
Tonight, St. Louis police are asking parents to help stop a toy gun trend among teens. Officers say there are a growing number of incidents involving gel blasters. Just last night, police caught 4 teens shooting at each other, including 3 16-year-olds and a 19-year-old. St. Louis Police Sergeant Charles Wall says this trend is concerning and dangerous.
Any parent would be devastated if, the toy that they got their child was misperceived to be some deadly weapon and somebody responded in kind with deadly force, and they've now are dealing with some type of family tragedy because of that.
The sergeant asked for any victims of this type of incident who haven't yet reported it to consider giving a statement to St. Louis Police.
Tonight, the second teenager shot within a week in North St. Louis County is recovering. We know the 15-year-old went to the hospital, but at this time, there's no word on the girl's condition. Police say they found her with at least 1 gunshot wound a little before 1 o'clock this morning in Cambrio Drive. Just last week, a 17-year-old was shot and killed in Glasgow Village.
A major shakeup for St. Louis Public Schools tonight as the board approves an emergency transportation plan for the upcoming school year.
The district was forced to act after their bus provider abruptly terminated their contract a year early. 5 on your side's Laura Barczewski reports on a crucial meeting with new information on how this will affect students and parents. Laura.
Mike and Kelly, 1 board member abstained from voting tonight, but the rest approved an emergency transportation plan. Consultant says the district has to remove 70 bus routes by this fall. The new plan details these changes. Start and end times will be staggered, starting around 7, 8, and 9 a.m., ending around 2, 3, and 4 p.m. High school students will be asked to ride the Metro. The consultants say about 1,000 students are Metro eligible. Parents who can or already drive kids to school will be asked to opt out. They will consolidate stops in areas where it's safe to do so. Some areas won't change for those safety reasons. The district will use vans where they have less students who need a ride to school.
We believe that this will result in overall improvements in on-time performance. This should shorten trips across the system, meaning that our students are on vehicles for a shorter amount of time.
The district already approved plans to work with 19 different providers, including First Student, and will use vans from daycare providers and even local churches. One of the biggest concerns was over safety. The board members raised concerns about the safety on the Metro and the buses, but also about the consolidation of stops, making sure students aren't walking too far in a neighborhood that might be unsafe.
I really want you to consider that when you're thinking about our families, because they're in the thousands. The many that don't have a stable place to stay. Please consider that our young people are going to have to go through neighborhoods that they're not going to be welcome in. One block to the next, you could be in serious trouble.
Parents will be asked to opt out before the fall semester starts so that they can consolidate those resources to the students who really need it. We'll have a link on KSDK.com where you'll be able to do that. Reporting live in St. Louis, Laura Barcheski, 5 on your side.
City Hall is temporarily closed in Moscow Mills due to mold. According to Mayor Lisa Meyer, elevated levels were found in 4 offices. The city hired a remediation team to remove the mold. City Hall will reopen once the job is finished.
Well, the next couple of days are going to be wet, and tonight the question is, will the wet weather put a damper on the holiday?
Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell joins us with the answer.
Yeah, we're going to be dealing with some rain, but you know what? We need the rain around St. Louis. Most of us still quite dry, and we're going to get some, at least the opportunities here over the next couple of days. Tonight, the sky's been lit up to our north and west with thunderstorms across northern Missouri, west central Illinois, back into parts of central Missouri and out around the Kansas City area. The closest they are to us right now, there's a couple of little spritzes up there towards Frankfort, but most of it's farther to the north. The overall trend is for this area to weaken a bit as it continues to push to the east. Those storms at one point producing 70 to 90 mile per hour wind gusts out in parts of western Missouri. Our future cast overnight brings the area of showers and thunderstorms weakening as it pushes into our region. That's happening as we approach 4, 5, 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. The downpours most likely will stay on the southwestern side of that system, and we're not expecting severe weather here overnight, early tomorrow morning. But heading into tomorrow afternoon, this area of storms that we deal with overnight puts down a boundary. That means areas south of St. Louis tomorrow, especially from 3 to 9 o'clock, could see some strong storms with wind and hail being the main threats. So stay aware tomorrow afternoon. Make sure those devices are all charged up. We'll track out the rest of the 4th of July weekend for you in a few minutes, Kelly.
All right, see you then, Scott. Faulty air conditioning, trash piling up outside, and a broken elevator. Those are just some of the issues seniors at a St. Louis apartment building say they're living with. Today, tenants at the Homer G. Phillips complex turned to 5 on Your Side's Robert Townsend for help.
We are in urgent need.
Sharon Williams says for weeks, she and many of her neighbors have encountered problem.
There's mold, gnat infestation.
After problem.
Mice, rodents everywhere.
At the Homer G. Phillips Senior Living Apartment Building near Whittier and Kennerly in North St. Louis. Williams says a Portland, Maine company leases the building from St. Louis City.
Eagle Point Management Company, who's managing the building for the past 3 years, have neglected this building.
Tenants say one of 3 elevators in the 7-story building has been broken for 8 months. They also say for the past 2 weeks, central air units in at least 15 apartments have not worked properly. City officials say the property manager bought tenants air conditioners.
And those AC units are small. The apartments are big, and so they only cool one room.
There are 220 apartments in this city-owned apartment building. Tenants range from 55 to 99 years old.
When you come out here at night, you never know who you're going to run into because the gates are always open.
Connor Kerrigan, a St. Louis City spokesman, says last month the building's property manager brought in a pest control crew to handle a bed bug infestation as well as mice issues. Kerrigan says days later, the elevator and HVAC system at the building were being repaired. Kerrigan adds, to the best of my knowledge, there are no new reports on issues to the building. Tenants know rising summertime temperatures will soon return, and fears are rising.
Somebody's going to die because there's no response when you have to call on a weekend.
Now, the city spokesman also telling us the property manager is responsible for security at that apartment building. Connor Kerrigan tells me the seniors should report ongoing issues to the city's Citizens Service Bureau.
A sinkhole that swallowed part of the field at Gordon Moore Park in Alton is now having a bigger impact on the city. Not only are community activities canceled, Mayor David Goins says now local businesses are feeling the pinch too. He says these activities bring visitors to our city, benefiting our restaurants, hotels, and other local businesses. The reduction in outdoor sports tourism revenue is a substantial blow to our economy, particularly affecting the Alton Park and Recreation Department. The mayor says the safety and well-being of the community remains his top priority, and he will work to ensure the park is thoroughly inspected and remediated.
Republican replacements. The Missouri Republican Party picking new delegates to send to the convention. Why the RNC tossed the initial list. Summertime is the perfect time for barbecues, but beware, they could make you sick.
Bacteria love hot and humid summer weather, making it the perfect time of year for harmful bacteria to quickly multiply on food.
Consumer Reports has ways to keep food poisoning off the menu.
Stormy weather at times over the next couple of days. It's going to impact our 4th of July plans. Gusty winds, heavy rain, possible hail. We're breaking down the weather impacts next.
With less than 2 weeks before the Republican National Convention kicks off, the Missouri Republican Party is scrambling to find new delegates to send to Milwaukee after an ugly fight for control of the state party.
The RNC yanked the initial slate of delegates after citing alarming irregularities and how the state party picked them. Our political editor, Mark Maxwell, explains what's going on.
Please stop yelling. We have to have a vote.
Chris Howard helped write the rules for the Missouri Republican Party state convention.
So we had a couple of breakdowns.
He watched as a block of insurgent grassroots activists stormed the convention to take control of the entire slate of 27 delegates to the RNC.
They threw out the rules. They felt like they could do that and get away with it, and so that's what they did.
His plan would have given the convention control of naming 11 spots on that coveted delegate list, and the party chairman could name the other 16.
They could have followed the rules and still won the day, but they decided to abandon the rules so they could get a larger chunk of delegates. And so that when you abandon the rules, there are consequences.
I think this is absolutely a counterattack by the establishment to silence the voices of the grassroots that have really been the backbone and foundation of the Republican Party.
State Senator Bill Eigel's team overthrew one of the Missouri GOP party bosses, a banker and donor who sits on the Republican National Committee, and voted to throw Eigel's slate of delegates out.
Basically, they had some of their insiders throw out the slate that over 900 Republican delegates selected down in Springfield as part of the state convention, and that's a real shame.
Howard shot back and said the man at the epicenter of so much dysfunction in the Senate wasn't willing to share power.
That's the problem with the people that follow Bill Eigel. There's no compromise. It's just, damn the torpedoes and full speed ahead. And this is a guy who's destroyed more things than he's ever built.
Anytime that you have a supermajority, you get some factions and you get tension.
That grassroots rebellion cost Derek Good his spot as an RNC delegate. He filed a complaint and now sees an opening if the party picks him to replace the delegates who won.
They feel slighted. They feel like they won the game and somebody else is going home with their trophy.
Sure, but they cheated to get there. They did. They changed the rules. And the rules say you can't change the rules.
Bill Eigel and Jay Ashcroft were going to the RNC as delegates. Now they've been booted off the slate along with 25 others. The RNC gave Missouri Republicans until Friday to finalize that exclusive guest list.
Former President Trump has a new sentencing date today. Judge Juan Merchan pushed it back from July 11th to September 18th. The former president was found guilty of 34 counts of falsifying business records on a hush money payment made to adult film star Stormy Daniels. Judge Merchan also granted Trump's attorney's request to file a motion seeking to overturn his guilty verdict by July 10th.
Having a holiday picnic or cookout is a great summer tradition, but the warm weather can quickly turn tasty treats into nasty bacteria. Consumer Reports food safety team share essential reminders to keep your food poisoning off your summer menu.
It's time to celebrate with family and friends and have a barbecue, but summer party planners beware.
Bacteria love hot and humid summer weather, making it the perfect time of year for harmful bacteria to quickly multiply on food.
James Rogers heads up Consumer Reports food safety research and testing.
And when this happens, someone eating the food can get sick.
Fact, more people get food poisoning in the summer than any other time. Consumer Reports has a few tips for having a safer summer picnic. First, prep and store your food and coolers the night before. Fill the coolers with ice to lower the temperature and keep all your food refrigerated until it's time to leave. Then pack it full. Do not leave any open space, and then put new ice or ice packs on top. If you're driving far, try to keep food in the air-conditioned part of your car, not the trunk where temperatures are higher. Stash your cooler in a shady spot when you get to the party. Pack a separate cooler just for drinks so the lid on the food cooler stays closed longer. When it's time to eat,
If you're going to set up the food for guests to serve themselves, please think about putting cold salads and side dishes inside of a larger bowl filled with ice to keep it cool.
while you may already be wary of dishes containing mayo or dairy on a hot day, all food mustn't be left out of the cooler for more than 2 hours or only 1 hour if the temperature is over 90 degrees.
And don't be tempted to partially cook meat at home. Consumer Reports says half-cooked meat can be warm enough to encourage bacteria to grow, not kill it. And your best bet is to grill at the party and use a meat thermometer so you know it's reached a safe temperature.
Tonight, Hurricane Burl is ripping through the Caribbean as a Category 5 storm. By tomorrow, it is expected to hit Jamaica and the Cayman Islands. Small islands like Barbados have dozens of destroyed homes and others without power after Burl moved through on Monday. It is the earliest Category 4 storm of the Atlantic hurricane season.
Rain is in our future. Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell joins us now with a look ahead at our weather impact alert days.
Well, we have a weather impact alert day, and you know, it's not for the rain that we'll see tomorrow morning because we'll have some rain around early tomorrow morning. It's really for later in the afternoon. But looking to the north and west of us, that's where the main action has been over the past 24 hours. In fact, the last 6 have been pretty eventful around Kansas City, stretching now up to the west of Chicago. Those are the showers and thunderstorms, and that wave will come in tomorrow morning, but as it does so, it'll set the boundary for later in the day, which is why we do have our weather impact alert for later in the afternoon into the evening hours. Thursday, 4th of July, we all have plans, and Mother Nature has some other thoughts on what will happen. So let's talk about what's going on right now. These are strong to severe thunderstorms. Wind has been the big issue here out in western portions of Missouri, into parts of central Missouri. Severe thunderstorm warnings from Moberly back down towards Sedalia. We're quiet around St. Louis. Closest rain to us is to the north. The outflows coming into Pike County. You might get a little breeze up that way, but at this point, it looks like through the overnight hours into early morning, the trend is for these showers and thunderstorms to diminish somewhat. There still will be some downpours at times through the early morning hours, and then we expect this area to fade. What it does is it puts down a boundary to our south, and that's where we'll see more thunderstorms, at least scattered storms developing for tomorrow afternoon into tomorrow evening. That's why we have the weather alert for tomorrow afternoon. So weather impact alert from 3 to 9 o'clock tomorrow, mainly south of St. Louis, for the potential of a few thunderstorms with strong winds and hail. So make sure your devices are charged heading into tomorrow. Now, we'll start the 4th of July with wet conditions around St. Louis, waves of showers and thunderstorms early in the day, then perhaps a break towards lunchtime into the afternoon before we see additional development. Here's the key. Is that cold front going to get in here in time to flare those storms up when we would be seeing fireworks, or will it slow down a little bit? That's what we still have yet to be decided, but there's still a risk for severe weather, especially from 4 o'clock until 11 o'clock. We'll narrow that window on the 4th of July as we get closer. And of course, a lot of people spending time in the pool. You may have to adjust those plans with thunder and lightning across parts of the area. So right now it's 85 degrees. We made it up to 93 this afternoon. Winds out of the south pushing that moisture back in here. Weather impact alert for tomorrow afternoon into Thursday. Thursday's such a big day with the 4th of July and so many of us with so many activities, plus of course the fireworks displays. The good news is the rain's out of here. So if something were to happen, say we had rain Thursday evening, Friday evening and Saturday evening would be good alternate dates or evenings for showers and storms to not be in the picture and to see the fireworks.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Maybe push it back a little bit.
So we'll see.
All right. Scott, thanks.
Sports is next.
We sat down Bradley Carnell today. We tried to sit down Bradley Cooper. He said no. Nolan Gorman had a moment, and the Blues had quite a few moves. Stick around, please.
Hey everyone, Michelle Lee here. Holiday safety from swimming to boating. Tomorrow at 6 a.m. on Today in St. Louis, we're going to show you how to stay safe at Lake St. Louis or Lake of the Ozarks while still enjoying Independence Day.
This 5 on Your Side Sports Report is sponsored by Telly Tire and Auto Centers, driving your way since 1942.
Hate to be a homer, but I am, and I will. I am bullish on the Birds. Getting healthy, starting pitching not bad, the bullpen at the back brilliant, and if you can get Nolan Gorman to forget about his month of June where he hit 141 and have moments like he did tonight, I'm telling you, to steal Jim Carrey's line, there's a chance, and I don't care who's coming back. Alec Burleson is not leaving the lineup. Homer 13, a near 800 OPS. Cards up 2-0 in the third. But here's the moment in the fourth. Gorman does not swing even remotely hard, and that ball goes 415 feet. That's his 17th. Hopefully it's a harbinger. First Cardinal Grand Slam this season. And Ali Marmol thinking, man, if he could just figure this out. Then in the ninth, 3 things for sure in this world: death, mom's pasta, and Ryan Helsley's fastball make it 31 consecutive saves. That's 101. Cards roll 7-4. Doug Armstrong and the Blues were on a roll today themselves. They unveiled the full schedule. The opener will be October 15th against the Wild, and they signed their first-round pick, Adam Juracek. But that pales in comparison to the following. Pavel Buchnevich got paid in the Escalade. The 29-year-old forward inked a 6-year, $48 million deal with the note. 206 points in 216 Blues games. Let's face it, since he showed up, he's been arguably their best player.
Really happy for him, deserved. Has been an outstanding player for us and is going to be a big player for us moving forward. He's just a corner piece to our success and what we're trying to do here.
The Blues also picked up Matthew Joseph from Ottawa and a third-round pick. The note will pay his $3 million salary. Joseph scored 11 goals last year and won a cup with Tampa 3 years ago. Also, Radek Faksa from Dallas. He's 30 years old. He spent his entire 9-year career with the Stars. He had 7 goals last season. Both are likely third or fourth line players.
This 5 on Your Side St. Louis City SC coverage is sponsored by Together Credit Union.
So Bradley Carnell has got to be wondering what the heck just happened. Last year at this very time, the hottest coach in the MLS, in first place in the Western Conference with an expansion team. Then, out of nowhere, they struggle winning. Since July 4th, 8 wins and 41 games. Still won the Western Conference, but this year, 20 games, 3 wins. Defections and devastating injuries were the problem. The talent level thinned out, and Carnell was escorted out. The classy coach told me this today.
I would say this is an emotional roller coaster of what the last 2.5 years have been. It's all come to a point now where you're experiencing it all over again in the space of 24 hours. So understandably so, usually you take this time to reflect. But yeah, it's a tough moment. I mean, I poured my heart and soul into this thing, and yeah, I feel that we got this place in a really good shape. And I know it's part of the business. The show must go on. Yeah, I'm a fan for life.
So am I. The Olympics are so big and popular that the Indy cars will shut down racing for 3 weeks. their first race back, the Bommarito 500 at WWT Raceway on August 17th. And today at the track, they had several Indy car teams testing. This is like Tiger Woods showing up at Augusta to get a feel 6 weeks before the Masters. No stone unturned in this sport.
Will Power is out on the track right now. Alexander Rossi, he's doing some testing. They'll take that information back to their team. They'll break it all down and be able to share that across the various teammates. And plus some of the data that they gather here today will also go into their simulator program as well.
Boy, that is one complicated.
Yeah, it really is. Frank, thanks.
All right.
All right, Cup of Noodles is sweetening up its game. The new flavor the popular brand is now serving up. A quick dessert in a cup. Cup of Noodles introducing an after-dinner ramen. The new flavor, campfire s'mores. This limited edition cup noodles has a sauce-based flavor blend of chocolate, marshmallow, and graham crackers. And it comes with mini marshmallows for the topping.
So what's next? Like Reese's peanut butter cup and noodles?
I don't know, but it oddly sounds kind of good.
I don't know. There you have it. 5 on your side at 10. The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon is next.
Be sure to start your day with Today in St. Louis at 4 a.m. Have a great tomorrow.